Alright, so hello everyone. In this video we're gonna be doing a rose. And this is my style. I'm not saying it's the best way to do a rose. I'm not saying that this is the only way to do a rose. You guys could do any rose. And right here I'm using a stump and just a mechanical pencil. But yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys the way I do it. So hopefully you guys find it helpful. And let's get started. So first of all, we're just gonna start by doing an oval shape. And do this at an angle, don't do it straight on. You guys could do it like straight, doesn't really matter, but it really for this one we're gonna do it at an angle, you know. And then we're just gonna do a line going down right the middle of the oval shape. And don't press that hard on your paper. Actually press a little bit hard right here, just because so it could be visible on the video, you know. So now we're gonna do this like a bowl shape. So from the sides of the oval, we're just gonna extend it like this, connect at the bottom, round off the bottom to make this a bulb. I'm gonna call it a bulb. As you guys can see, the bottom is way bigger than the top. I don't know if you guys seen, I guess it's called the bud. But if you guys seen the roses when they're not spread open yet, they're like buds. And it has this shape. You guys can make a better one, but just to simplify, I'm gonna make it this way, you know. And don't press that hard, you know. Don't try to get it exactly the same. This is just a rough sketch, you know. It's just a sketch. Try to do it. So now that we have this, we're gonna start off a little bit to the right of here, and we're gonna do one of the leaves, not the leaves, the petals. And this petal is gonna be, we're gonna see it on its side, you know. It's not gonna be full. So around the middle right here, we're gonna bend it. Just erase it right there. And once again, like, doesn't have to be exact. You guys can make it any way you guys want it. But around the middle, we're just gonna bend it like that, and then come back up to around there. And then right there in the middle, we're just gonna do a that's where like it gets skinnier, you know. So then it's gonna connect over here on this side. And once again, just have fun. And then this one goes on the other side. So this line right here just makes it look like it's bent, the petals bent, you know. It just gives it that look. And then just connect it over here in the side. And it's kind of a realistic rose. It's not gonna be like a real rose. It's more like a tattoo rose, tattoo style rose, although I do shade it to a point where it kind of looks realistic in a way. But I really recommend that you guys go online on Google and just look up roses, you know, or maybe take a picture of a rose in your yard or something like that. So now over here, right there in the middle, we're just gonna extend this line right here. We're gonna end it around here. This is gonna be one petal, because the closer it is to the middle, the more tight that they are, because those are still not spread out. Those are the last ones to spread out, the ones that are in the middle. So they're gonna be the smallest ones, you know. So now around here, we're gonna do another one just like the one we did at the beginning. Just this one a little bit more curved and smaller. And right now I'm doing simple shapes. It's something that honestly I should have done right now, but you guys could give it a little bit more of a natural look by adding some curves to it. Like for example, this one, it has like some curves to it, as you guys see in the middle. So just make it look natural, you know, because there's like no perfect way to do it, because every rose is different. So you know what I'm saying. So just have fun with it, and whatever you feel looks right, go ahead and do it, you know. And then this one, you guys can barely see the side of it. It bends a little bit, so that's what we're trying to show right there. And then we can't see the other side, so we're gonna leave it like that. So now right there in the middle, that's where we're gonna make like the middle, like how should I say, where at the end of one of the petals. So we're just gonna do another one on this side, and once again curve it like this. There we go. And then we're gonna do this small line right there, and that's just signifying that it's kind of like bent in the middle, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm trying to say, but you guys will know once we start shading. So now that we have that one, we're just gonna do another one over here. This is gonna be a big petal. And then it kind of makes this M shape, as you guys can see right here. I'll show you guys right now. So I was just pointing out how long you guys can make it. And it's gonna end right here, right with this one, right where that one kind of opens up, because this one's like inside of that one, you know. So it comes out of that one, because they're all connected, and then the first ones they spread out, right, and then they those are the biggest ones, so then they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. If you guys, maybe you guys could find a video on YouTube where you see a rose blooming. So we're just gonna do this line right here. It doesn't really have it. That just is, once again, is gonna kind of show that it's bent a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then right here, I just start adding small details. You know, giving it some curves on the petal, making it look a little bit more natural. I could have done a better job, honestly, but later on I do make some changes. And then for the here, we could just you know, give it a little bit more of a natural look. Because the roses don't have straight lines, you know what I'm saying? They don't have any straight lines, because the petals are kind of round shape. So now we're gonna do another petal over here. This one's once again a big one. We're not gonna do that many in this rose. It's just gonna be a few big ones, and then once again do this kind of like M shape. And then actually don't like where I put this one, so I make it a little bit lower. So I really recommend that you guys do that. You know, go search roses on Google, and you'll find some good reference that you guys could draw. Maybe walk around your neighborhood, down the street. Maybe you have roses in your house. Just go ahead, take a picture, get a good point of view of the picture. You know what I'm saying? Get like a good angle, and then just draw it. So right here, we're just gonna do another petal that we really can't see, so we're not gonna add that much detail to that one. And then right here in the inside, we're gonna do this like folded petal. Right here, honestly, you guys could maybe look up a reference to get a better way of how it should look like. But once again, I'm gonna do it simple. That way it's easier to understand, you know. So this one basically is like kind of curving, you know. It's kind of like a tube, a circle. So that one's still not all the way out, and I could have done more detail, added a little bit more, but like I said, I wanted just to simplify it, you know. And basically, and that part is mostly gonna be dark, you know, because we are gonna shade it, so it's not gonna be that noticeable. So now we're gonna add another one at the bottom, and this is on the side. I'm sorry. So it starts off around there, and once again, just try to make it natural. And most of the petals have this M shape at the top. I don't know if you guys seen it, but some of them are like different. They have like these little how should I say, curves to them that end kind of like at a point. I don't know, like if you guys look at roses, you might know what I'm talking about. You might see what I'm saying. But just try to make it natural, you know. Don't get too carried away. You guys don't have to do that, but it just gives it a little bit more detail. So now we're gonna do the one at the bottom, and the bottom one is gonna be just like the one in the middle that is kind of bent. So we're not gonna see the full petal. We're just gonna see it kind of like the tip or the top that's like bent down. So that's what we're gonna see. So it's gonna come out around there from the other one. Because like I said, the first petals that bloom are the biggest ones in a rose. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it works. And once again, you know, give it some curves, make it look natural. Roses, like I said, each petal is different. So now we're gonna do another one, and I believe this is gonna be the last petal. You guys could add more, but just balance the rows out, you know. Don't add too many on one side. Just balance them off. So we're just gonna connect that one, and I really like this one. I don't know, it's just simple, and it's not too busy. It's really easy to draw, so that's why I decided to do this one. There's a lot more better roses that you guys could do, like really beautiful roses that are in Google. Just look them up, and then you guys could just go for it, you know. So right here, I'm just gonna change this one. I really don't like it, so I extend it just a little bit more. Once again, you guys can do it your own way, but as long as you feel whatever you feel right, you guys don't have to copy me 100%, you know. You can use these steps for any drawing. Just remember not to press that hard, because some of these lines are not going to be that noticeable. So we're just going to do this really light line right here. Don't press that hard in this one, because That's just gonna signify that that petal's kind of bent right there, you know, it's kind of bent. So in between that, it's gonna be really dark. And then what you guys could do is just add some leaves, but I'm not really gonna go too much into that. I do a few, but I'm not gonna go into that, you know. You guys could look, because there's a 100 ways to do leaves, you know. There's just so many ways to do them. Like I said, it depends your style. Everybody has their own style, so I really don't go into the leaves too much. But the leaves from roses, they're original, you know. I don't think there's another flower that has the same type of or shape as rose leaves, and they're really pointy. It kind of looks like an acorn shape almost, as you guys can see right here. Did this one a little bit better. And something that I could have done is just made them a lot bigger. But like I said, I'm not gonna go that much into the leaves. You guys can look up some references online, just to get a better idea, you know. And then you guys could just copy those, try to get the right style. But once again, try to balance your drawing out, you know. Like for example, right here, the leaves are on the left, and I need something on the right side, you know. I could have just left those three over there, but I wanted to add something, you know, so it just looks a little bit more balanced. So I just add one. I could add more, but like I said, I didn't want to go that much into the petals. So now right here for the petals, we're just gonna do these lines. I'm just showing you guys right here, don't do these right now. I'm just showing you guys the way the petal is, so that's how it's bending. As you guys can see right here, this one's kind of bending that way. So it's just so it could help you guys do the shading. This one's bending that way because it's leaning to the right, so the lines. This one's kind of like, once again, like the one on the top. So and the inside is kind of like almost together with the bulb, and then the tip of the petals are like coming out. They're like bending that to the side, you know. And this one right here in the middle, we're not gonna add that much to that one because you really can't see that petal, you know. So now we can erase those reference lines that we did at the beginning, and we basically have our shape, our rose shape. From here on, it's just about shading, you know. Look for your light source and just go from there. But usually there's the really dark areas and right under each petal, you know. I do end up shading it. I'll show you guys in a bit. There we go. So right here I'm just adding some more details in the inside right there. I don't know, I really love roses. I don't know, it's just something that I really like. I'm not like a big fan of roses in general. I mean flowers in general. I just really like roses. I don't know, it's just something that I really like. I think they're really beautiful, you know. I'm a guy and everything, but it's just I really like how roses look. It has like a big meaning, and I don't know, I just think that they're really cool. So that's why I like drawing roses. That's something that I think I draw the most of, roses and skulls. I don't know, I really like, especially if you combine them, you can make like these really good drawings. And right here I'm showing you guys a stump that I have. You guys could get these I think in any store, and I'm using this really small one just because it's really small, and I could get inside some of these tight spaces in the petal. But they come in different sizes, you know, different thickness. So right here I'm just using a mechanical pencil just to do some light shading. And then right here this part is like the darkest in the whole drawing. Also on the bottom of the bulb and under the other petals, and just try to follow those lines that I showed you right now. You guys don't have to do those. I was just so you guys could get the right form of doing the petals, the shading for the petals. Just go along with those lines, you know. Right here I just erase them because we don't need them. That was just to show you guys. But once you do your shading, try to do your shading pointing that way, you know, end it that way, curve your shading. You guys, if you guys don't have those stumps, you guys can use your fingers. A lot of people use their fingers, you know, but it tends to get a little bit messy. So right here just go again, try to make it a little bit darker. And that's something that I like doing. I like my drawings dark. I know it's not not everybody does that, but that's just my style. Everybody has their own style. If you like the way I do it, then go ahead, you know. But like I said, look up some reference on Google, take some pictures, go outside, you know, maybe your neighbor has some really nice roses. Just go out there, take a picture, and then try to draw, you know. That's what I do. Every time I see a rose, I always take a picture with my phone. That's every time I see one that right away it gets my attention, you know, because I'm like, I want to draw that. So it's really fun to draw roses. So right here, just try to do the shading, and just try to go with those lines that I showed you guys. You guys could draw them, just don't make them that dark, that way they could erase. And just try to go along those lines, you know, follow those lines with your shading, as I'm doing right here. And it just gives it like a really cool effect for the petal. It's showing you where the petal's going. So for example, right here, it's another dark spot because it's right under the inside. And then this one at the bottom over here too, there's like the darkest areas. And as you guys can see right here in my shading, I changed it. I actually do lines, and I try to follow the way the petal moves, and it just gives it like a really cool texture effect that I usually do on my drawings, like these lines right here. But don't press too hard once again, because you're gonna be blending those, you know, and if you have them really dark, it's just gonna be a little bit weird. But you guys could do your shading like this. Maybe not, it's not the best way to do it with the mechanical pencil. I think it's way better if you use just a regular pencil, or if you guys have any drawing pencils, then they're way better, you know. But I don't think I took it wasn't a good decision to use a mechanical pencil. It was just the first thing in there, you know, that I grabbed, because I have a lot of pencils, drawing pencils. You guys could get them. I'll show you guys a picture right now. I bought these online. You guys could get them really cheap, but it just has like different shades of pencils. So some of them are like when you press on it, it does a really light line. Others make it really dark, you know. So it has different ones. So for shading, it really helps, you know. It also has some charcoal pencils that really give a good effect for roses, especially for the shading. It's just, you guys could do really cool drawings with them, you know. So, and then it also comes like with your sharpener, your eraser, you know. But you guys could get these online really cheap, or I think in any store. Basically just go to the art section and you'll find them there. And I do use them later on once I do more of the shading, because the mechanical pencil gives like a different type of shading. It makes it look really light. It's not that dark unless you really press on it, but I don't want to press that hard on it. But it leaves like this really light shading. And some of the other pencils, I use this charcoal pencil, and it just gives it like this really good effect, you know, a shading effect. So I do use that later on, and I'll show you guys how it ends up looking like. But basically just do that, you know. Follow the way the petal curves. And then right here there's no light right there, so we could just shade that completely. And then under the petals right here, basically right here is just all about where you think the light hits, you know, where the shadows are. Like I said, it all depends where your light source is. You guys don't have to follow mine, but usually it's just as you guys can see right here, I did more. It's usually like right under the petals, right where the petals go into the middle. That's where usually all the shadows are. And then you guys could do the highlights just by using your eraser, and usually they're at the tip of the petals. Right here I end up erasing the lines, like I said, because I don't know, it makes it look more realistic if you guys don't do no lines. But I do end up doing them later on during the video, just to make it this different look, you know. And if you shaded some areas too dark, you guys could always just use your eraser, you know. So as you guys can see, just by the shading, it gives it like a more realistic look. You guys could do wonders with just shading. and just work on it, you know. And there's always something you guys can make better. Right here I'm just going over the lines again, but not going that hard. I am gonna be going over them with my stump, just to blend them out a little bit. That way the lines are not that sharp. Once again, under the petals where they overlap, usually the bottom right there is darker. It's looking a little bit better. As you guys can see, I'm going over the outline again, just enough that is visible to me, but it's not that dark, you know. It's not gonna be there permanent. It's not gonna be standing out too much. And I was planning to go for that realistic effect, but then later on, once I add more of the shadows, because like I said, I use this charcoal pencil, so it makes it really dark, you know. So then I do end up making the outline a little bit darker. So right here I'm just erasing some of those highlights right here, where these leaves, the tip of these leaves, because that's where the sun is hitting, or the light is hitting. So those tend to be really light, you know. And then in the inside is like darker. And that's something really cool about doing roses, that with the shading, that if you don't like how it looks, you guys could always change it, you know. So that's really cool about doing roses. And we're basically done. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too much into the petals, not the petals, the leaves, but as you guys can see right here, there's just lines that meet in the middle, and it's the same on both sides. And then right here, like those lines going at an angle right here from the middle line going down the whole leaf, they're kind of pointing. I don't know if you guys seen the leaves of roses. They're kind of sharp. They have these sharp points, you know. You guys could apply that to your leaves. And this is how it looks like, you know. You guys could do this. Try adding your shading, you know, making your petals look really cool. Add some shading to it. And then once you have your darker areas, just add the highlights, you know. What I ended up doing is just with the eraser, I did the shading, and with my eraser I just added some of those highlights, you know, just so it could make the rose stand out a little bit more. And it's not a realistic rose. The shading kind of gives it that effect, you know, but it's more like a tattoo rose. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, because usually on roses you can't see the full bulb, or the bud. You really can't see that. It's mostly just the petals, so that's why it's not like a real rose, but the shading makes it look a little bit more of a realistic rose. But this is how it should basically look like, I guess. And then right here I just finish it off by adding any details on the petals. You guys could like just work on the petals, you know, make them a little bit more natural. Some of them have these little like pieces missing, as you guys I tried doing right there, and some of them, and just work. You look at some references, look how the petals look, you know. Not all of them are perfect, so just add the details, and basically it will give you a really good rose right here. Once again, I didn't pay much attention to the leaves. It's just really basic leaves, you know. I just wanted to show you guys how to do the flower, because the leaves, everybody has their own way. I really recommend, like I said, just going to Google and looking them up there, looking at different ways to draw them, and just find your own style, you know. But hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful. It's my first rose tutorial, so I hope that you guys found it helpful. Once again, please leave a like if you guys enjoy drawing the rose. And once again, go to Google, go outside, go to your neighborhood, go down the street, find some roses, you know, take some really good pictures, and then just try to draw them. Right here on screen, as you guys can see, this is one of the roses that I made. It's probably my favorite picture, my favorite drawing that I've ever done. I use charcoal pencils. I use the really dark charcoal and then a white charcoal, and I use the white charcoal for the highlights. I just blend it in with the black, with the really light shading to give it that look. And as you guys can see right here, you guys could add water drops, and it just gives it like this really cool effect. You guys can make it look really realistic. There's just so many things that you guys could do on a rose, and charcoal is, I think, one of the best ways to go about shading the rose. You guys can use your pencils. Once again, I don't really recommend using mechanical pencils because the shading is really light, and it's really hard to get some of the dark in there. Even though you keep going over it, it's just not going to be as dark as charcoal pencils. And there's different shades for charcoal pencils. So once again, like I said earlier, you guys could buy those online. Basically, they're, I think, in any store. You guys could just go to any store and go to the art section, and they're probably there. But yeah, so I just want to say thanks for watching once again, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a comment, leaving a like, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next video. Later, guys.